Hello and welcome back to Little Antique Me. I'm Elizabeth, and today we are continuing on with our Sew Along With Me project. The last time we talked about patterns and layout and cutout. Today we're going to talk about sewing the pattern together, sewing the waistband, and how to finish seams and things like that. So here we go. To start, we're going to pick out thread that matches our material. I chose this rusty red color because I felt like it closely matched my material. I probably could have gotten a little closer, but for this project I think this will do just fine. I always use 100% cotton thread, which you can find at any Joann's or Hobby Lobby or craft store. Next we're going to thread the bobbin. Keep in mind that each machine is a little bit different. So for mine, this is how I do mine, but yours might be slightly different. You might need to look at your owner's manual on how to thread the bobbin and how to get it set up. After you've threaded your bobbin, it's going to look much like that. We are going to go ahead and place it in the bobbin area underneath your sewing machine. And again, my sewing machine might be slightly different than yours, so keep that in mind when threading your bobbin. It might have a particular way it goes. You're going to set the bobbin thread off to the side for now, because we'll get back to that later. Now we're going to go ahead and thread our machine. Mine threads from the top and then down to this part, and then down and around, up and around that one, and then down to 2 pieces right before you get to the needle to thread that. I'm going to go ahead and use my walking foot for this project. I typically keep it on because I enjoy how it just helps all the material walk and move, no matter if it's cotton or something slippery. So once you thread your needle, you're going to want to place it underneath your foot so that we can now thread the bobbin needle up to the top. So holding this thread underneath your pressure foot, hold it off to the side like I have with my thumb. You're going to rotate your needle down and then back up again so that it catches the underneath thread as you can see it moving. I used my scissors or a needle to pull it off to the side, and now both threads should be on the top of your machine. Now that we have our sewing machine threaded, we are going to place the skirt right sides together, pinning the top to hold it together, and then we are going to pin down the sides. On the left side of the skirt, where it'll place on your left hip, we are going to leave an opening for your zipper. Now, if you were smart, you would have marked it off of your pattern piece, but I kind of forgot, so I end up measuring down 8 inches, and that's where I end up leaving it open for my zipper. Go ahead and pin the rest of the skirt together on both sides. Alright, so for my machine, I'm going to set it at a 4 pressure, which is about a medium pressure for my machine. I'm going to use a straight stitch, and then on my machine I can also set the length of my stitch. I'm going to use the 2.5 setting, which is about a normal stitch for cotton. Each machine is a little different, so go ahead and read your manual to decide what it requires for a cotton material. I'm going to start by sewing the right side of my skirt and then the left. The pattern calls for a 5/8 inch seam allowance, and on my machine that is marked with a number 5. And I will follow that throughout the entire sewing project. Go ahead and stitch up the right side. Don't forget to back stitch at the top. You go back and forth so that it locks the stitches in, and then also repeat that again at the bottom. Once you're done, go ahead and remove your pins and let's talk about fraying. To stop the fraying on your edge, there are 3 ways to do that. You could use pinking shears, which are your zigzag shears, and cut the entire seam so that it will not fray. Much like that. Or you can use a zigzag stitch on your machine. To set it, you will have to look at your manual to decide how that works, and you would zigzag all the way up your side. The third is a serging machine. Now, not everybody has a serging machine, but this is my preferred method, and it would actually allow you to have a more finished edge as opposed to the fraying. When you sew the left side where the zipper would be, really make sure you back stitch really well there so that it doesn't split. Next, we are going to go ahead and move on to our waistband. For our waistband, we're going to want to apply our interfacing. You're going to want to use the bumpy side of the interfacing, which is the adhesive side. Taking your waistband, which you should have 2 pieces of, you're only going to need 1, so go ahead and set the other one aside. Placing that with the wrong side down, you are going to press your waistband onto the adhesive side of the interfacing. I use my iron set at a cotton setting with a very low steam, and then I just add a lot of pressure and press thoroughly. Once you have it thoroughly pressed, go ahead and cut it out. The other thing is you could have actually cut this using the pattern piece first and then pressed it on, as opposed to how I'm doing it. Once you have it all cut out, go ahead and give it one more good press just to make sure all those edges are attached. So from there, you're going to take your other piece of waistband with right sides together, and you're going to pin them together, because next we're going to sew them and flip them right side out. Since we applied the interfacing, it covered our marks, make sure you go ahead and trim those so that we can see them later. To start sewing this, you're going to start about 5/8 inch up from the bottom of the waistband. Don't forget to go back and forth. To turn a corner, put your needle all the way into the material, lift your foot and pivot, and then continue on. And you will do the same thing on the other corner as well. And again, stopping about 5/8 inch up from the bottom. Remove your pins, and then we're going to trim the corners and also the excess seam. The reason we do this is it makes it so that when you turn the waistband right side out, it has less to turn, and it's also lays a whole lot smoother. You have not as much bulk. Go ahead and turn it right side out, really making sure you get those points nice and, well, pointy. Go ahead and take it back to your ironing board and give it a good press. The last thing we're going to do today is we're going to turn on the uninterfaced side of 5/8 inch seam up from the bottom. This will make it a lot easier when we apply our waistband to our skirt later. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and sewing along with me again. If you have any questions whatsoever, leave them down below and I will try and get back with you on those. And before our next project, I'm going to go ahead and post the rest of this video next week so that you can continue on, since we kind of missed a month. So next time we will cover waistband and putting the waistband on and the zipper and hem, and then we'll be done. And so you are almost there. Hang in there. So I will see you next time. May God bless you and keep you this week, and I'll see you later. Bye.